This is the Valley Today.
No major upsets, but some new faces. Results are in for the 2022 election, and we are recapping key races and measures. But first, we have some rough winter weather moving in.
Yeah, a storm is brewing, a winter storm that is, and it's taking aim right here at the Valley. We're jumping over to meteorologist Lisa Green for a look at what's to come.
Good morning. Yes, today we're getting an early taste of it before we get hit hard later tonight and into Thursday and Friday for our first alert weather days. That's when we'll have the biggest impacts from heavy snow and wind reducing our visibility. In addition to that, some icing possibilities, and that starts this morning. We've got this first wave moving in and a winter weather advisory that's covering just for this morning, this event here. This is in effect until noon today, and that freezing rain will be most likely in these areas in southeastern North Dakota, Cass County included, Stutsman County, the Jamestown area. This is where we've got temperatures at or below freezing, or we're expecting them to drop into that range, leading to some slick roads for the morning commute. Now, later tonight and tomorrow, this is what we've got for us. New alerts issued this morning for our winter storm. Most of us still remaining in that winter storm watch for the time being, but where it's moving in a little sooner, we've got some upgrades. Blizzard warning that will take effect later on with this system for the James River Valley, and a winter storm warning in red here for a lot of counties in South Dakota, back over toward Ellendale as well into Dickey County. So this will get updated as the day goes on. But bottom line is we're starting to get those warnings issued. So it's getting closer, and some of us again already watching out for some wintry impacts here this morning. The Dickey County and the Lemoore County areas, this is where we're seeing some colorful conditions on the radar. Pink and purple indicating some rain, freezing rain, or some sleet or mixed precipitation. Warmer to the south and east, and so we're expecting more rain showers there or even thunder showers this morning. So this is all lifting northward. So this is something I'll be tracking throughout the morning, letting you know where we're having some problems here before you hit the road. Right now, 38 in Fargo. We've got 32 in Grand Forks, below freezing in Jamestown. Again, one of those areas we may have freezing rain. On the other side, Bemidji's got some dense fog, and some areas in the east will continue to have to deal with that. And we're going to talk more about that this morning, too. And here's a look at your daily forecast. Not really going anywhere temperature-wise, staying in the 30s. We've got chances for rain or even freezing rain this morning. And then for Fargo, again, late tonight, this is when the event starts up. Freezing rain possible before we transition to snow beyond that time frame. So there is so much to talk about for your morning commute right now, the rest of the day today, and we haven't touched on much at all. This big storm system coming our way. It's going to bring some heavy snow and may shut down travel for some. So stick around. We'll get into the details on that in a couple of minutes.
You know, it's a little bit of everything, I guess, this week, huh?
Exactly. We're really taking the full brunt of winter weather coming our way.
Thank you, Lisa. 6:05 right now. One of the most watched races of this election season was the U.S. House race in North Dakota. The Democratic endorsed candidate dropped out over the summer after former Miss America and Harvard Law grad Cara Mund jumped into the race as an independent.
But her big push was not enough to unseat the incumbent. Kelly Armstrong is heading back to Washington with 62% of the vote to Mund's 37%. Republican incumbent John Hoeven also won his re-election bid to the U.S. Senate from North Dakota. The Republican was up against Democrat Katrina Christensen, an assistant professor of engineering at the University of Jamestown, as well as plastic surgeon Rick Becker, who is running as a far-right conservative independent out of Bismarck.
In 2016, John Hoeven won re-election with 78.5% of the vote, now the largest margin in state history and the biggest margin of any U.S. Senate candidate that year. This year, it was 56% for Hoeven, 24% for Christensen, and 18% for Becker. North Dakota voters are also saying yes to term limits. 63% yes, 36% no. Now, Measure 1 adds an article to the state constitution limiting lawmakers to 8 years each in the state House and Senate, and the governor cannot be elected more than twice.
And measure number 2, a big talker in North Dakota, goes down in defeat. We're talking about legalizing marijuana. 55% voting no, 45% voting yes. Now, this would have legalized the possession and production of recreational marijuana throughout the state, again, of North Dakota. The Cass County Sheriff's race was controversial at times, but incumbent Jesse Johnner is the winner with an overwhelming 79% of that vote. He held off a challenge by Deputy Matthew King.
And now you'll recall there was controversy during the campaign when a group called Code 4 Media released information about some nude photos that were sent from a Cass County jailer to another deputy. King denied he was any part of that. And it's a tight race for Cass County State's attorney. We're waiting to hear if there's going to be a recount on this one because only 659 votes separate these two candidates right here.
Kim Hegvik came in with 50% of that vote, but Ryan Youngren close behind with 49%. In Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz has been elected into a second term, defeating his opponent, Republican Scott Jensen, 52% to 44%.
Now, several key issues were on the line, like abortion access and school funding. Walz says Minnesotans saw the vision of optimism and problem solving for the state, which ultimately brought him across the finish line.
It's not just a slogan of One Minnesota. We do work together. We do solve problems, and we've got a lot of opportunities. So looking forward to getting back to work, keep moving the Minnesota forward.
Governor Walz says the outcomes from the other state races will help decide which key issue will in fact be tackled first.
In other Minnesota races, State Attorney General Keith Ellison beats challenger Jim Schultz. That's 50 to 49% at last check. Now it's a tight race, so there could be a recount. And Steve Simon was reelected as the state Secretary of State. And a hot race surrounded and controversy over TV ads is going to the Democrat. Republican Dan Bomer is beat by former TV weatherman Rob Kupek.
That final tally, I was looking at our graphics here. Kupek 52%, Bomer 46%. This campaign was tense, as you may well remember. Negative ads pointing out alleged spousal abuse by Bomer during his divorce last year across your television screens.
Sales taxes are going up in a couple of cities in the valley to pay for various projects. Now, Moorhead voters say yes to a 0.5% sales tax increase to finance a regional library and community center. 64% of voters said yes, 35% said no.
And West Fargo voters have approved a 0.5% sales tax, 50% to 49%. The difference here, though, the money generated will exclusively fund the fire and police departments, and it's been a bit controversial.
Fire officials say without the funding, they're not meeting the response times they want to be able to keep people safe. Some people in the community have been outspoken about it, saying the police and fire departments need to reallocate the funding that they already have. And in Grand Forks, election officials are recounting the vote on a 1.5-cent sales tax increase that would go toward buildings, roads and bridges, plus a jail and law enforcement center.
That's a lot of information there on your screen, but it is a breakdown, the 60% and the 220% at the bottom. The vote close, 50% no, 49% yes, which sent it to an automatic recount. Now, one of the big national races watched was over in Pennsylvania.
Democrat John Fetterman is the projected winner of the U.S. Senate seat there, beating GOP candidate Dr. Oz and flipping the red Senate seat to blue. That race was looked at as a key part of the total control of Congress. Now, these are just some of the races from this year's general election. If you want to check a particular race or measure, we have all the information you need to know online.
Yeah, just visit valleynewslive.com or break out your smartphone right there on your screen and visit the free VNL News app or our election homepage. All right, still to come in the Valley today. Listen to this. We're talking about bulletproof school furniture. One company going what they call practical to help save the lives of students and teachers in an age of school shootings.
Also ahead this morning, we're going to be checking in with meteorologist Lisa Green. She's tracking some nasty winter weather that is on the way to the Valley. She'll have the very latest on what you need to know in just 2 minutes.